a way to communicate, whether it's your phone with the tracking units we'll talk about in a second. That's actually a two-way communication device now, so you should be covered. But basically, this is not like going to run the Houston Marathon or something where there's a race official, you know, every 1/8 of a mile or something. You're going to be in some pretty remote areas, and you need a way to call 911 because you're pretty much in a self-rescue situation out there. And we mentioned that this race is dangerous. It's not called the world's toughest boat race because we needed a marketing slogan. It's that way because it's pretty remote and pretty tough. So that two-way communication device.
Can we communicate with our team captains?
You know what? If you're racing against me, I want you to communicate with your team captain. Pull over and have a conversation. But yes, it's the short answer. What you cannot do is contact a race official. So if
Unless you need rescue.
what?
Unless you need to rescue.
Yeah. If you contact a race official for anything other than needing to be recovered, your boat has wrapped or whatever, and you call me and say, hey Jay, how do I get through Alligator Lake? Well, number one, you should have gone and practiced it. And number two, you just contacted me as a race official to help you through the course. You've got to and it's tough because I've had friends call me during the middle of the race, and it's like I'm not answering them because, you know, then I'm cheating for them. So, you know, we don't need to know that you're camped out at, you know, Monkey Island or something. Do not contact a race official unless you need help. Type of two-way communication, satellite communicator, two-way radio. Okay. Snakebite kit. This is really kind of one of those legacy things because if you ask 5 doctors what is the best way to treat a snake bite, you will get 5 different answers. So if you want to tell me your roll of duct tape is your constriction bandage for your snake bite kit, I'm golden with that. If you've got one of those cool little things we had back in, I'm from the 1900s, so you got
There's one on the table. It's on the table.
Oh, this is one of the suction devices, you know, that's just like putting a big
Probably the same.
syringe. It probably does more harm than good, and it's probably been in the bay. It has been in the bay quite a few times because it's kind of crusty. So just have a snake bite plan. There is one in the 60-plus year history of the race. There have been several people that have claimed to have been snake bit. I feel like my race has been snake bit before, but as far as physically being bitten by a snake, I can confirm one. And so that's pretty good odds. An efficient signaling device, you have to have, is this one have one here? Yep. I should blow this just so you know how bloody loud these are. Because if you are somehow turned over in the bay, for instance, you want the recovery boat to be able to find you. And it's amazing how dark it gets out there. I mean, it's pretty dark. So along with that, flares, red aerial flares. So that means a lot of things to a lot of people. If you want to bring your flared pistol that shoots flares up in the air, that's cool. But I will tell you that if you use the flares for anything other than you need rescue, you will be disqualified. And you can't make stuff like this up. We had people have, you know, just like, we're almost done, woohoo!
Oh my God.
That's great. You know, we're glad, but you know, now we've just sent a boat out to rescue you, and so we had to get. I'm glad you'll find it funny because it was really, it's gotten to, and it is funny because it's just so ridiculous. So, and don't use green ones because that's what fishermen use to signal each other. And if the Coast Guard sees a red flare, they're going to send a helicopter. So, you know, think and
It's expensive food.
And,
What's that?
and you should buy them early.
Yeah,
They sell out locally.
do not wait until.
The night before,
The
you
night
won't.
of check-in to say, oh crap, I don't have my flares.
Or Thursday, you show
Or,
up.
or Thursday show up and you're
And
like,
you have a roadside flare. That is
And-
the wrong type of flare.
and better yet, also make sure that you check the expiration date on the flares. All of these things, details that do matter. Personal flotation device, this is much too long to go through. You must have life jacket of some sort. No inflatables of any kind are allowed. It's just too confusing as to what actually works and what doesn't work. And it has to say United States Coast Guard approved. So if you have one of those really comfortable Maki vests, or there's another brand like that, yes, I understand that they're very comfortable. Yes, I understand they're more comfortable than just about anything on God's green earth, and you would wear it all day so you feel safer. If you want to wear it all day and feel safer, bring it. I mean, just put it on your sign-in seat, but you must have a Coast Guard approved life jacket in the boat, and you must wear that crossing the bay. I will tell you a story about penalizing people for not wearing their PFD across the bay. Let's say that you're very close to finishing in the top 5 of the water safari and you're paddling solo. You've won the race 16 times overall, and you are so excited about how you're going to finish that you just paddle right on across the bay and don't put your PFD, and now everybody's looking at you, the winningest dude in the history of the race, with no PFD. Guess what? He's still got the hour penalty just like anybody else. Thank goodness it did not cost him a position, because that would have been a real bummer. Tracking devices, and I know that Jonathan, you're going to talk about these out there more in depth. The most important thing that you understand is that we have switched. Spot devices are no longer applicable to the water safari. They're done, zip, zero, find your local recycler, what have you. Or, if you see somebody has a slightly used spot online, and they're trying to get rid of it and like, I only use it in one safari, well, guess what? You can't use it in the next safari, so don't buy that. Okay, this is more information you'll ever want to know, and we're not going to try to cover it all right here, but some guy got real bored at work one day and decided is going to be the best Garmin InReach device to use, and so he made this chart. And I think, we've got that on the website yet?
It's on the QR code.
It's on the QR code and what have you. So basically, you can decide if you want one that is simply going to track. There's some communication on it, but it's not really big deal. Or if you want a full-blown GPS unit that'll show you, all of your tracks of the way. I'll cover it up. Because this is the Mini 2. If I had to go buy one today, this is what I would personally go buy. Just put it in your cart on Amazon, unless you're boycotting Amazon, then I don't know what to tell you. And wait until the price drops, because right now I think they're going for $3.99. Next week they'll go for $2.45 or whatever. And there's no rhyme or reason to it, but it happens all the time. This is probably your best bet for just straight up, I want something that's going to be able to ping the tracking system throughout the race and whatnot. And you can still send 911 and all that kind of stuff. This is the one in yellow that's marked adequate, which makes sense that it's mine, right? I'm just adequate at this point. I actually chose it because it's the only one that floats. But the battery on it will not last for the entire race, so you must have a way to charge it during the race. Otherwise, Sam's going to be sitting at his computer. Raise your hand, Sam. I saw you sneak in. Sam is our director of tracking, so anything I've just told you that's wrong, they can correct outside. But you have to have a way to keep it charged because, 100 hours is the amount of time you have to race. And let's see. Boat numbers. Kristen mentioned boat numbers in terms of, I wish Chris Stevenson were here. Kristen mentioned boat numbers in terms of, you need to send in 3 distinct choices. This is where it defines what those numbers have to be. They have to be reflective. They have to be at least 4 inches tall, and they have to contrast with the color of your boat. And you're probably sitting there thinking, what is it? I mean, it's really just decoration. And a lot of it is, but it's the way that they keep track as you go through the timing stations of the checkpoints that they can read it. A reason I wish Chris Stevenson was here because it was his first year to help track boats coming into the finish at the Texas River Marathon, and he's got his super duper binoculars trying to read these things, and these numbers are jacked. I mean, he's so aggravated by the end of it that he can't see straight. And he comes in and he says things that there may be small children in here, so I won't repeat. He said, now I get it, why these numbers have to be at least 4 inches tall, reflective, because half of the course is, you're going to go through the checkpoint at night, so that's reflective. And, a dark blue number on a carbon fiber boat doesn't show. Most of your paddle aluminum boats, I mean...
And make sure they're above the water line.
Yeah,
that was another thing he was first
that's true. Yeah, they make sure they're above the water. That's amazing how many people, it's like, it looks so cool though. If you're going to do that for looking cool, turn them upside down where we can read it when you're driving down the road. And you must have a white light for night travel. Man, there are more choices on lights than you can shake sticks at. I mean, you've got high dollar, super duper adjustable, programmable. You've got 3-cell LED mag lights and everything in between. And they'll go over that in detail out there, but you must have them. Now, these things are not required at any of the races except for the safari itself. So the River Marathon, you don't have to have your white light because if you're out there that long, you shouldn't be doing the Texas Water Safari. Tracker, you don't have to have your tracker if you're renting it because the course is short enough that we're not looking. It's contained, and you don't need flares because you won't be out in the bay. And that, thank you. Any questions about the required equipment at this point in time?